Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Special warm welcome if you're brand new here. My name is KiwiSimsKate. Kiwi because I'm from New Zealand, Sims because I love The Sims, and Kate because that's my name. So thank you for joining me in another speed build today. It's been a few weeks since I uploaded my last build, which was also with the new expansion pack, Royalty and Legacy. So this build, like my last one, is a base game and Royalty and Legacy only build. And after this one, I think I'll probably expand to use other packs. I'm really keen to see what else I can put with these beautiful West African inspired build buy pieces. I think of the two sort of main styles we received with this expansion pack, this style is my favorite. It's been well overdue in The Sims 4, so really excited to get it in this pack. I do as well have a creator code, so if you're thinking about picking up this pack through EA app or thesims.com and you want to support me, you'll get a 5% discount using my KiwiSimsKate creator code. Pop it in the box at checkout. And if you do support me, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's one of a number of ways you can support my content, as well as giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to my channel, and just tuning in and watching. I really wanted to build in this particular neighborhood. My last build was in, I think, Verdemar, which is, I believe, the more Portuguese-inspired world. This world here is Dambele, and it's inspired by West African culture, and so it's got a really, really different vibe. And as I said, it's definitely my favorite architecture, so I could not wait to try it in this build. I am, though, not super used to building this style because we don't have a lot of it already. I did look at lots of inspiration pictures online. I, of course, scanned Pinterest first. Funnily enough, just sort of searching for West African architecture, I really found it limited in what I could find just immediately. Like, I really had to dig a bit deeper to find inspiration images, which is kind of sad because if you think about it, it is definitely far more easy to find Western styles. But I just think the style is gorgeous, and yeah, I'm obsessed with the new items in this style personally. So I'm building I guess I would call it like a modest royal home. It is certainly a royal home because I included the throne in this build. You could take that out if you didn't want a royal family living here. But of course, because of the theme of the pack, I thought it was appropriate. So there's like a kind of a throne slash living room area, kind of doubles as both. When I built this, I thought I might have more room inside than I actually ended up with. So the interior of this house isn't particularly large. Again, that's why I call it sort of a modest palace. It's certainly for a wealthy family. It's for a family who, in my eyes, is probably nobility and royalty in the neighborhood of Dambele, or at least they're hoping to rise in the ranks of nobility at least. And it's a pretty impressive structure from the front. You know, it looks quite inspiring and fancy from the exterior. So I wanted to bring that mood through into the interior. And one aspect of this house that I really, really, really wanted to include, and it's actually the first thing I started from. I kind of worked from the inside out with this build. I really wanted this inside enclosed kind of courtyardy area. It's pretty common in some Moroccan architecture. And I know obviously that's not West Africa. It's north, in fact, it's northeast, so it's quite far. But I see a lot of similarities in some of these items with some of the architecture in Morocco as well, which actually is a country that I have traveled to, and I loved looking around Marrakesh at all the incredible buildings, the history, the architecture. It's stunning. And so they have this quite popular style where the name completely escapes me now. I mean, it's been probably a good 10 years since I traveled to Morocco. But there is this particular style of building where there's an enclosed courtyard with a kind of pond or shallow pool of water, beautiful tile, open to the sky above, so it brings enormous light, and then these kind of balconies on the floors above that overlook this atrium area of the build. So that's what I wanted to recreate here. That's the one thing I knew I wanted, and then everything else had to fit in around it, which is why then when I started actually considering what the floor plan was going to be, I was a little panicked to find out that actually there's not a lot of room in here once I fill kind of a lot of the ground floor with this atrium. But nonetheless, I persevered, and I'm really glad I did because I'm quite happy with the result. It is a smallish home. It's only got 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. So for a family who is in the noble career and is either royals or they're royals or they're aiming to be royals, it is quite small. But you could expand, you could adjust a few things. I really wanted this house to reflect a family who spend a lot of time just leisurely hanging around, eating grapes, and really without many cares in the world. So there are a lot of areas in this house that are just used for hanging out and relaxing and enjoying the beautiful weather, great food, great company. There are 2 separate roof spaces that, again, they're just for hanging out. There are some activities up there as well. I get to building those near the end of the build. And then even inside, you've got this atrium in the center on the ground floor, which is all about just relaxing, and maybe listening to the fountain, the sound of the water in the fountains. There's the throne room, which whilst yes, it's used for work and for ruling the realm, it also has this quite luxurious large sectional sofa in it. So a lot of leisure, a lot of tranquility, and not a lot of hard work going on in this house, I would say. And wouldn't that just be great, honestly? Sorry if you're hearing loud banging noises in the background. It's actually my cats. They are causing a bit of a ruckus, so hopefully they won't continue much longer. So in the atrium, I did finish it with a few items so that your Sims could relax. There's a couple of options for seating. You've got the lounge chairs down there, and one of the new armchairs that we got. As I said, this is base game and royalty and legacy only. So if there are items that I'm using in here that aren't familiar to you, They're probably from the new expansion pack. I'm not going to call out absolutely everything because we did get a lot of items in this pack, which is amazing. But I tried to use as many of the West African style build buy items as possible in this build. Similarly with my other build, which that speed build's already out. If you want to go check out that, you can, I'll link it up in the corner of this video as well. That is in the opposite style, which is kind of more like Western fantasy castle palacey type vibes. And that's base game and royalty and legacy only, but totally different style and aesthetic. So in this room here is the throne room that I mentioned. I'm using this gorgeous new tile, 2 different types of wallpaper that we got new. We've got new pieces of art. Not quite as many pieces of art as I'd like, but I feel like I would probably say that no matter how many we got. I just think I think we could easily do with more and more and more artwork in The Sims. I seem to always still be wanting more. Whereas I think, we've got sufficient number of other items, but I don't know what it is about artwork. I'd like more options personally. We got this gorgeous new curtains. Actually, one of the other great things that I thought they included in this EP is that there are a few items in build mode where they've given us multiple height options where normally they wouldn't have. So yes, we have some curtains already in the game that are short, medium, tall, but we have plenty that still adjust the one height. And that gets really frustrating when you want to build different height rooms. With this pack, those curtains came in short, medium, and tall sizes. There was another thing that I was really excited about. Oh, there's bookshelves in this pack in both styles that came in 3 different heights. And I don't think that's something we've seen before at all. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I can't recall another bookshelf that we have in the game that is the exact same bookshelf, but just in short and a medium and a tall size. So that was really exciting because it means that when you are building houses with medium or tall wall height, it doesn't look out of place. Your bookshelves don't look like they're, dwarfed by your rooms because your rooms are so tall. So that was super exciting to see, and you'll see me a bit later when I get on to finishing the bedrooms that I use some a little bit taller bookshelves to fit in there as well. Speaking of, we do move up to the first floor now, which is where the 2 bedrooms are and the bathroom. It's, again, as I said, it's pretty small up here. Because of the sort of shape of the build, I really did run out of interior space quite quickly. I had not really planned it that way, but by the time I got to furnishing, I really liked the shape of the building. So it was kind of too late by that point. I could have probably expanded it a little bit here or there, but I also didn't want it to look kind of ridiculously large from the outside. So there is a primary bedroom which has the beautiful 4-poster bed in it. That bookshelf that I was mentioning, a dresser, a few decorations, nothing really. It's not overly cluttered or full of items. Because I'm only using base game and royalty and legacy, there's only so many items I can use, and also using this style of architecture and these decorations, there are limited things I think in the base game that go with it, Not not none. There's certainly some things that work really well with this style. Namely, we got not that long ago a free base game update that actually had some really lovely West African inspired pieces. There was some artwork. Speaking of artwork, earlier we actually have some of my favorite artwork in the game is some of this West African inspired art. I actually placed one of them in this bedroom here, and that's base game. What else did we get? We got a really lovely plant and a few other things, a lamp and stuff in the base game West African pack. So I think I use almost all of those items as well in this build because they just fit perfectly. This bathtub is the only bathtub we got with the expansion pack, and I guess maybe that would be one of my gripes, would be we really didn't get many things for the bathroom. We got this bathtub. I don't think we got any shower or toilet. And we got one sink, which, to be honest, is pretty similar, i.e. I'm pretty sure they use the same mesh for the Adventure Awaits sink. It's just ever so slightly different and in different swatches. So I definitely would have liked more items for the bathroom, but I guess, we can't have it all, I suppose, as much as I would like to. And then this is the kids' room, which I actually managed to fit 2 beds in here, 2 single beds. It's a fairly roomy kids' room. It's not super small. So even though there are only 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom in this house, I think if you were strategic enough, you could split some of the rooms up. You could create a slightly different floor plan to give yourself a bit more space, and maybe another room upstairs. You could either do a second bathroom, because even the bathroom is quite large as well. So you could figure something out if you really wanted to create another room in this house. But I love how this kids' room turned out. I kept it really nice and light, using some different wood tones. I use a lot of the darker wood tones through the rest of the house. So in here, I wanted it to feel maybe a little more whimsical, a little brighter. This room also has these beautiful skylights, which are also new. And they run the length of the room. So at certain times of the day, the pattern that comes through those lights, well, they're not really skylights, I guess. They're sort of cut out roof or ceiling pieces. They let the light in, but there's this gorgeous pattern that the light makes. And it's beautiful. If you've seen it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's so lovely. These cushions were also in that base game update I was talking about before, and they come in some really cool swatches as well. So I use those here. I felt like this room was feeling maybe a little underutilized or developed, under decorated. I thought I love those sectional sofas, but because I'd made it a fairly long sofa, it did feel a little empty. So I added those cushions for a bit of decoration and a bit of interest in the room. And then I move on to the 2 roof areas, hangout areas, relaxation spots, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. The way that you get to them is through some staircases on the outside of the house. So at the back of the house, there's 2 staircases that lead up to the section that I'm building now, which will have a couple of lounge chairs, a rug, the really adorable drinks tray, which actually that's an item that kind of fits with both styles that we got in the CP. And some items from Live Edit, these really lovely awnings that came with this pack. and the telescope. Now, I need to tell you, if you've lasted it this long in the video, let me know in the comments below, because I've got to tell you the funniest story that happened to me. So I always play test my builds that I'm creating for YouTube and putting up on the gallery. This will be up on the gallery, by the way. And that telescope, oh my goodness, it caused me a lot of grief. I have a bunch of Sims in this save file, and this particular save file is one that I use all the time for building my speed builds. It's pretty much where I build all my speed builds, in the one save file. And I have a bunch of different Sims in this save that I've created that I use for playtesting. For this build, I used a couple, a Sim and her husband, and when I was playtesting this build, I got her to try the telescope out to make sure it worked and they could get up there, and they laid on the lounges, and then she got up and tried the telescope, and I was shocked when moments later I get a notification in the menu to say my Sim is about to be hit by a meteorite and die. The Grim Reaper turns up. She's on the ground dying, and it's an absolute mess. It's an absolute tragedy. Anyway, long story short, she came back to life because her husband pleaded for her life, and it worked, thankfully. But that was a real close call, and a little PSA out to my fellow Simmers there and builders. Please save just before you playtest, and be careful when you're playtesting, particularly with objects where there's a death associated with it. I was not happy. Luckily she survived though, and we're all here to tell the story. Look, thank you so much. Screenshots are coming up shortly. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to download it, it is on the gallery under KiwiSimsKate, which is my gallery ID. It's also my username across all my social channels, so no matter where you are, you can easily find me, and take care out there. Bye.